Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 5Roundz. We're back here today with another hectic topic, very heated discussion that we're going to have today. So I would like to welcome the guys. We have Pato. How are you doing, man?
Good, and yourself, Fred?
Yeah, we have Wantali.
Hello,
how are you doing?
Good, man.
And we have OV2 Nice.
What it do? What it does?
And we have Patrick over there. He'll be back in a few moments. So
yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm all good.
Oh, you're there.
I just had to open the door for somebody here.
He couldn't take the topic. He's just like, nah.
He's going to rob the Wi-Fi password from the neighbor.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us today. We basically came about this topic a couple of weeks back, and we were planning to bring it sooner. But anyway, today is better than never. So today's topic is euthanasia. So I'm going to explain more about euthanasia and everything. So before I start, I would like you to please subscribe, like, and share to your friends so they can be able to watch this as well. Because right now you might learn something, you might not, you know what I mean? So please do so. It'll be helping the channel as well. So I'm going to start by just explaining what euthanasia is. And then after that, I'm just going to start pointing out to the guys, bringing out questions and stuff. So everybody's going to have a round, couple of minutes of for them to bring up their points and everything. So bear with us. So euthanasia, I had to practice that little pronunciation. Euthanasia. Anyway, euthanasia. It is the practice of intentionally ending life or relieve pain or suffering. So this practice is basically is practiced in different countries. For example, I would say in the United States and part states, California, Colorado, and Canada, the Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland, and Belgium. You know, some parts. I'm not gonna mention all the countries. So there's pretty much heated debates whether it's right to take someone's life on their own choosing, or everybody has the left and we have the right. So I'm going to give a few parts of it, which one of them is active euthanasia. So this is when death is brought about by an act. For example, when a person is killed by being given an overdose of painkiller. So basically, they give a patient or anybody who wants to take their life a painkiller, a tablet to take their own life. And the other one is passive euthanasia. This one is basically the death that is brought about by omission. For example, when somebody's on laying maybe in a coma, they're not waking up and they're not sure they're going to wake up. So the guardians or whoever that person is can actually tell the doctor, okay, just pull the plug, let the person die, because you see me they can't live and everything. So it's a pretty much emotional topic. So
that sounds so sad in the first place, because the way you put it there, it sounds so sad. Continue. Sorry to cut you off on that one.
Pretty much very emotional, you know what I mean? As in, you can argue the good thing about it, and you can also argue the bad thing about it. So I'm just going to throw out some questions. I'm going to start with Patrick over here, since he's the one closest to me on my left. So I'm going to, Patrick, do you think all countries should legislate euthanasia after hearing me explain what euthanasia is?
Just repeat that, sorry, I didn't catch that.
Do you think all countries should legislate euthanasia after hearing my explanation on what euthanasia is and all?
Look, first of all, as you said from the beginning, and this is a very difficult topic for me personally, and everything, to be honest, and everybody out there. I once heard about this topic on the radio, and there was a lot of people calling in the radio and a lot of opinions from people. And when I sat there, that's when I was very interested to discuss this, because I was like, I wish I could talk about this. Look, New Zealand and is it Belgium made
Yeah,
this
Belgium,
legal.
yeah.
I think they legalized this in 2001 and 2002 during those years. And obviously, there's rules to doing it. For me personally, I think at a certain level, it should be registered in most countries. But obviously, I would like there to be control because I have a bad feeling that if they just register this, some people would use it to their advantage. And I'm not talking about the people who like the patient themselves. I'm talking about I'm also talking about patients. But some people apparently say, "Oh, look, because I am going through blah blah blah, maybe going through stress or very hard times, I have to." So because you have to be analyzed first, or some people, when somebody, let's say, is in a coma, as you mentioned before, can say, "Oh, let's sign off the paper so this guy can have a mesicule," but you find out that the only reason why they're doing that is not for the person's advantage. It's supposed to be that doing that for the fact that they want money, that maybe the guy has money.
Yeah.
So look, I'd like it to be registered because trust me, there's people out there who are suffering, and there's people out there where things are beyond the go back point, and the only thing that can happen for them, they feel as a human right that, you know what, I have to go through this. Maybe they see that, look, I'm a burden to the family, or they see that, look, there's no way back for me. I think I like a painless death. So that's what I like about it. But as I said, I hope they, as other countries have done this, when it's legal in many countries, there has to be rules because people can take advantage of it a lot. So that's all I can say. And I support that. Yes, it has to be legalized. That's all I can say. I'm not going to say much because I don't want to take much of this. Because if I continue going, I'll take much of it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
but you can say something.
No, let's stick with Patrick a little bit.
Let's stick with Patrick. Yeah.
Yeah,
Go
I
on.
wanted to ask him. So yeah, go. Sorry, Patrick. Sorry, Fred.
So
No,
yeah,
go ahead. You're more than welcome to go ahead.
as you said, Wantali, let's stick to Patrick. We're not going to just jump away from what you just said right now, because you said you stick with legalizing it and everything. You only talk about the good thing about it. You only explained a little bit more of the negative. So I'm just going to throw it to Wantali to actually give you that question. I think he's
Yeah, go
itching
ahead,
to ask.
Wantali. Go ahead,
Patrick, I wanted to ask you. In your explanation, you've only said that it should be legalized, right? What I wanted to ask is, why should it be legalized? Do you know what I mean? Because the only reason you gave was because you want to end suffering. But is that it? Are we doing it because we're ending suffering? And also, you said people are suffering. Well, how many? What how many, so that we justify this? Do you know what I mean? That is the question there.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, for me, from what I have seen, there's many ways euthanasia can be used, right? It also can be used for animals, and for animals, it's legal in every country where they can put down an animal when an animal is in pain.
Yeah.
Obviously, that decision is taken away from the animal, let's say from the whatever animal it is, and it's only decided by the person who is in charge, as human beings, without even asking any permission. Look, for me, the reason why I believe this obviously is something that has to be legalized is because, look, I have seen people in situations where they have a terminal illness where you're like, oh my God, this person is actually in pain. And the pain they're experiencing at that point in time is more than what they feel that as anybody has ever felt. I can give an example why we're on this, if you don't mind me saying. My father, when he had cancer, he took me to South Africa with him for treatment. I'm not trying to say that time that should have been something he has to take it as a way out. No, but I'm saying the pain I saw somebody when you have an illness like cancer. For my dad, who was somebody who was big like me, the size went small. Wear trousers, we had to put the belt, like we had to tie the belt so tight at a point where he could look at me and couldn't even speak. And I think he's told me a few times, like, this is the most painful thing I've ever experienced, my son. And this was in a room. And that time, I think I broke down and cried. I was young, obviously, and my stepmother had to look after part of the family. So, look, for me, I have seen illnesses. I've even gone to Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where I volunteered once when I was working for Red Cross back home, where I saw people who HIV or AIDS has got to them, or some illness they have, like, the illness where stuff grows on your body and people are actually in pain and crying and actually screaming out for pain. So if such person, this is why I support it. If such a human person says themselves that, look, guys, this pain is unbearable. Can you help me? Because don't forget, this is not just somebody just saying, oh, here you are. Here it is. We kill you. The doctors have to help you. They're helping you to lessen the pain. It's not even about just helping someone to die. They're even helping you to lessen the pain before you die. That's also another point we have to understand here. It's not all just saying, oh, here is a painkiller, or here is a needle. Whose sound is that in the background?
I don't know.
Next up. Hopefully, you guys, if there's any sound, just mute your mics, guys.
Sorry about that. So I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. That's why I support it. It's not that about just saying, oh, here you are, here's a needle, and that's it. They also give you sort of medicines that help you ease in that pain to make your death peaceful. Because there's a century all this started. There was a king who was also suffering after he was injured during a war. That's when all this started. It's one of the famous stories. After he was injured, he was going through so much pain, but people still wanted him to do his kingly duties. And he thought, okay, me being alive, he told his wife, me being alive is just worse. It's just worse for everybody, even as the kingdom. But I want my pain to be endless, and obviously my pain to be, my death to be painless, and for it to be easy. So he was one of the first to get such euthanasia done, and he had a peaceful death. So that's why I support it, because those are the things that sometimes when I see them, I feel bad. It breaks my heart to see somebody go through suffering. So if somebody has the right to say, look, this is what I want, I would support them to do whatever they want.
Sorry to cut you in there, but first of all, my condolences of your father on what happened. And you explain much about it, but you're only talking about the suffering. Obviously, it's an emotional thing that you're talking about here. So what about the person giving the euthanasia to the person? What about his emotional state? You know what I mean? Because if you also talk about, like, okay, someone's suffering mentally and everything, wants to feel like, I'm stressed, just go there and just get your life done and everything. Like, because if you open that door, all sorts of people will come in. You're not only those ones that are suffering. That's the other side. We should also look at it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if you say, like, okay, someone is in pain, doctors and everything, yes, you have that. It can be ministered and everything, but people have been emotional stress and all. They want to kill themselves, and once you legalize that, you obviously giving them a door, like, okay, right now nothing is working out for me. Let me just go there and just end my life. You know what I mean?
Fred,
I don't know. MP, do you want to go first?
Saying, like, I think you're deviating from the whole, point that Fred started off. I think we were talking about, the legislation of countries. Do you think? Do you think that? It's plausible for countries to actually impose this legislation, and are you in support of it? And what do you think? I think that discussion would surely be in the middle of everything. That is more heated. I actually enjoyed that. So I think keep that going. I just want to listen
from what I heard from Patrick. I think he is for legalizing it. Is it?
Yeah, like, look, everybody can come from an angle in this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I was watching a few videos on this. Everybody seems to come from every angle. Like, for instance, one of you guys can answer the same question I just answered, but you're not gonna use the emotional side of it. You actually use the way of like the government registration, go more to the political side of it. Activists also have got their own version of all this. Doctors, I've also seen doctors speaking about it. Same way as you asked me that, oh, how does the doctor feel? By the way, I just saw something. Apparently, a doctor can tell you that they're not going to go ahead with it. They can refuse. It doesn't mean that as soon as this is done, like, your doctor cannot just be held accountable. So, go ahead. They can refuse and tell you, you know what, go to somebody else. Or they don't even have the right to tell you to go someplace. They can just say, look, I refuse. And then you yourself have to go and apply somewhere else for this, or go through the procedure for somewhere else in another clinic. So that's what I can tell you about that. So I think maybe Wantali was looking to answer that, because he seemed like he didn't agree with what I was saying.
Basically, I was about to just navigate the same question to him. Wantali, this is your chance to speak as well. So take your time. Do you think all countries should legislate euthanasia?
You want a short or a long answer? Let me ask you that.
It depends. Any answer is perfect. We want your thoughts.
I think in a logical sense, I think the answer should be yes. But I will tell you why I'm saying yes. I think it shouldn't be yes, everyone should have the right to do it. I think it should be a case by case situation. I think you can't have this law and give the power to doctors to say, hey, you have the power to advise someone based on a diagnosis that they should take their lives. I think that's pretty wrong, because time has told us that we cannot put full trust or this much responsibility in a human being's hands, because when, a lot of people have been misdiagnosed with the wrong disease. What happens when you get misdiagnosed? When you get told you've got a terminal illness, but you don't have it, you will still think you have it, and your brain will tell your body that you're dying. And that's what happens. It's a switch in your head. Most of the suffering is not physical. According to a study, most of the suffering is not physical, it's mental. Your mental tells you that you are dying. Yeah. And if that happens, that's it. So imagine this situation, that we make it legal for everyone, and a doctor misdiagnoses you and gives you the wrong advice. You've told yourself you're dying. Look at the catastrophic effect of that thing. That's a big mistake.
And your bodies are basically reacting to what your mind is saying, you know what I mean?
Correct. So I'm not saying that I'm fully against it, but I'm saying we have to really think about what we're doing here, the kind of responsibility we're giving here. I would probably want to say another point, but I mean, I would just reflect on what Patrick said. I would sort of counter what Patrick said, because Patrick said, look, obviously going to his personal situation and where he's saying, look, socially, it's making other people feel terrible about the illness of their relative, right? You feel like, oh my goodness, this person is suffering, so I am suffering. I wish this pain could end. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
We look at it that way, yes. But I'm going to give you a counter story, right? I had a grandma who was diagnosed with serious diabetes, right? Like you could tell that it was killing her. Yeah. But, having somebody like that who was a prominent member of society, somebody who was well known in her church, somebody who lifted a society up, imagine if that person decided, no, I'm suffering, let me just end now. What she has done throughout her life, instead of ending her life, contributes more to her being dead. You get what I mean? So, yeah, I get it. There is a bit of pain there. But look at the happiness and the joy and all of that. Yes, you should give that person a choice, fine. But I think you shouldn't go straight to resorting, I'm sick, I'm going to die, I'm in pain, I should go. You should look at the value of life is more than more than the argument of euphemism.
Amen to that.
So that's what I would say. But again, I said
it was quite long. Very good points there you have.
Fred, just for a minute there, I just wanted to okay, this is now going to become counter. I'm not going to counter it.
Go on there.
Nah, because look. I just wanted to say one thing. No, I did not mean that. When you look at somebody suffering as a native, you think that okay, this is too much for us. No, I just meant that. Like for me, I sort of agree with you, but there's also procedures I hear that it's not only up to like a doctor, they go through a lot. There's a guy who comes, a psychologist, and many people come in to do everything. It's as if it's still, that's another complaint I heard online. People actually complain that the process is too much, but I think it's purposely done because, as I say, they don't want people who just want to do this for the sake of doing it. So look, I didn't mean that, look, when you're looking at somebody suffering as a UTF, yourself, you're also suffering. No, I just meant that you've seen situations where you're like, oh my God, this is difficult, and somebody has actually told you this is difficult. But I'm not trying to say that choice has to be up to me or just entirely by one to doctor. That's why even in England, apparently in England, there is a British committee that actually sits together. When you send your request, there's a committee that actually sits together, and it's made out of maybe 5 people, and they actually sit down and analyze everything. So yeah, it's not light anyway. But I like Wantari's point about just not leaving it to one doctor. But I saw that it's not only left to just a doctor; it's left to a lot of people who actually have to come in.
I am going to. I don't know if our parts and Ovitunites have more to say. Like you guys have taken much of the points there. But
do you want countries to have that in the system?
Yeah,
I think it's a yes and a no. But at the end of the day, I would say this: when you look at people that commit suicide, right? It's not their freedom of choice to go into that lane. As well as if you're caught in the sense of you are like, committing suicide and stuff like that, you want to take your life, in certain countries, you're punished for that as well. So then if you're in a society that encourages that you have to take people's lives over a certain, illness, terminal illness, or whatsoever and stuff like that, are you inviting the people that commit suicide to actually venture into that, application as well, process, whereby they don't want to be existing in this world, they're mentally, unstable, and they just want to end it. So that legislation only plays in favor of, the suffering. But does it play in favor of the people that are suffering as well mentally? Because then it's a big issue in the mental kind of, sector as well. So I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not a good zone to walk into, but
it's kind of a 50-50, but also depends where you're coming from. Wait, I'm gonna throw it straight to you, Vida. What do you think about this?
And me, I'm on the side that I think it's a good idea because it ends the pain for people. That's all I can say. I can't say much. Everything I'd say on my side. I'm not the person who's going to say.
But
50.
Vida, when you just say ends the pain for people, there's also a saying, where there's pain, where there's pain, there's a life. You know what I mean? Without pain, there won't be life itself. You know what I mean? So once you just hear, okay, someone is suffering, immediately death. No, that's not the way life is supposed to be.
But
people grow. People grow through pain as well. You know what I mean? Where there's pain, there's growth.
Yeah, but you guys are missing the point. When you're saying pain, we're not talking about, this is not simple pain that we're talking about. A person has broken his leg and is in a coma. He's had a car accident, he's in a coma. We're talking about some type of pain that someone is in a bed and he's barely alive. What's the point of keeping someone in that kind of situation?
But you're forgetting that, some people actually self-inflict that kind of pain. They can paralyze themselves. They can get themselves into that situation so that someone else takes their life. So those situations whereby there are people that are sick in the head that actually want to take their life, and then society has to come in to protect those people.
Because I'm not thinking about someone who's sick in the head. I'm talking about someone who's been a cabbage asleep for the past 3-4 hours.
Let me say something about that before you continue. You said a cabbage, you know what I mean? So aren't we the person who's, if you legalize it, the person himself is supposed to say, okay, I'm done with life. But he's a cabbage there. He has no words. You don't know if he wants to die or not.
Yeah, but let me
somebody else is making the decision for him.
So I'll give you an example. There's a person who'll be on a cabbage and will be on life support. For that person to still be breathing, it's just because a machine is operating that for them to breathe. What's the benefit of that person stuck onto a machine for 3, 4, 5 months? Like, tell me what's your main aim at the end?
Ovida's right. Okay. So
can you even talk to that person? No, you can't even talk to them.
But do you know that some people have actually woken up from coma?
I was about to say that. Do you know that some people actually wake up from that?
Of course.
Yeah, so if you decide now and then, you should go.
You tell me the ratio. If you guys have done it, you tell me the ratio. How many people have been in that type of coma that a machine is operating them, have woken up, and how many people have never woken up? They just had to turn off the machine.
There's quite a few. We can argue, we can agree to disagree on that topic.
Yeah, but when you say it's quite a few,
kind of
out of 10, you not see there are going to be more than 2 or 3.
On that note, Fred had a question. He had a second question about doctors. What was that, Fred? You were talking about the doctors.
Wait, which part is you talking about?
The second question that followed after you were asking about legislation.
I think that was one tally.
Is it one tally? Is it? Did you answer that? Yeah. Is it one tally?
No, it was one. I think it was one tally. I think that's it when you spoke about doctors. Can we give it in doctors?
Is it a doctor? Is something about is a doctor who refuses to request for the euthanasia and stuff doing the right or wrong thing? I think
that was our next question, bro.
Yeah. Fred asked that. He asked that early on.
Yeah, I asked it. Before we get into that, we're just going to read a few in the comments there. I'm going to give it to you one tally just to read a few comments if there's any comments.
At the minute, no comments at the minute, but guys in the chat, what do you guys think? All right. Do you think it should be made legal in all the countries? That was the first question. Thank you for joining the guys that are watching. But please do participate in this conversation. It's not just us, it's also you. So tell us what you think, okay?
I'm just going to go to the next question here because the first one is taking so much of our time. So just to be time conscious, The next question here is a doctor who refuses a request for euthanasia doing the wrong thing. I think that's what you were referring to, MP. So I'm going to take it to one. No, going to bring it back to you, MP, since you're so eager about that topic. So take it away.
Well, are they doing the wrong thing or the right thing? I think it's more of I know, like I've heard of the cases where if you're in the case of applying for euthanasia, and then as well as, you know, your application passes through the panel, and when it passes through the panel, you are given that chance to say, okay, this is the set that where you're gonna be, you know, dealt with and stuff like that. I think at that level, it gives a doctor power. It's not the right thing or wrong thing, but then some people are psychopaths whereby they practice medicine to kill people. You know, there are certain nurses have been practicing medicine just for the sake of killing children and killing.
Explain a little bit more on that one.
Wait, MP. The question is a doctor who refuses a request of euthanasia doing the wrong thing? That's the question.
Wait. I'm getting
to the point.
All right,
get to that level. I'm getting to that level. Sorry about that.
Okay.
So, in that case of someone else wants to take their life and he refuses not to, that has to go through another application and another application, which is, I think, that's not a good thing. Where to refuse, that's the wrong thing, because then if someone else is in pain, you'd rather just take, you know, go on with it.
Why is it the wrong thing? Why is it wrong for somebody to refuse?
It is the wrong thing because then, for example, I would say, for example, a family that cannot afford medical bills, right? Someone else is in, you know, a coma and something like that, right? There is that pass whereby you say, you know, this person's going to survive. While they're surviving, they get back to normal, but then they still have that illness, that terminal illness that's really can't be treated as such. They're still in pain. What do? Do you pay for the medical bills, or do you take the life? The person says, take my life. Do you take the medical bills and whatsoever and stuff like that? And the doctor says, no, I refuse so. So the family has to pay for those bills, which is...
MP. Let's say you're the doctor, bro.
Yeah, thank you. Please.
Let's say you are the doctor. Somebody's asked you, so I'm terminally ill, and I'm saying, MP, I'm suffering. Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you wrong to refuse?
You are wrong. That's why I'm saying.
I'm asking you. Yeah. Are you wrong?
Like, okay, in my situation, I'm wrong because then the family is covering the bills and stuff like that. That's something else, as well as the person suffering in that.
What about your emotional
It's not always
state?
the family. It's not always the family. Sometimes the guy can have an account.
What about you?
What about your emotional state?
In my situation as well, I'm wrong for punishing the family. That's what I mean. Like, you know.
So how are you punishing the family?
Okay, here's the story. I'm punishing the patient in pain, first of all. I'm punishing the family that is like in that difficult situation whereby they have to cover the medical bills, whereby this person is suffering, just wants to end their life. In the hospital, you cannot just sleep on the bed without paying for the bills. So if the doctor says, no, I'm not going to go through with this.
But actually, if you're in the UK or Ireland, where they have a system that you pay tax every month, you can sit in a hospital and not pay a hospital bill because it works by majority compensation through tax. So if that system works in America, where your medical bill has to be paid before somebody puts a knife on you or something, but in this case, the question is the doctor wrong? If they refuse,
I like to go in loops, but I would say the doctor is wrong. Okay. That's it. Clearly, I'll say it's wrong because then the choice to live, the choice to die. I think it's all up to a person, but then that depends on the situation of the application. Yeah. That's it.
So I'm just going to answer. I'm just going to add in a little bit, and then I'm going to give it to Ovida, and then see his thought as well. You say it's wrong because you basically being in one shoe. You know what I mean? You're only considering your explanation only on the patient side and the other family. What? Because the doctor is a person as well, has emotion as well. You might have an emotional state on him as well. The reason why he has the choice to, he also has the choice to say no, I can't do that. So nobody can say he's wrong or not. You know what I mean? He has his personal choice why he's not doing it for his own emotional state. Believe me or not, but I think taking someone's life, even if it's a good thing or whatever, still has a little bit of hold on you. You know what I mean? There's people who go to war thinking they're killing people and they're doing a good thing, and then come back with a messed up mind. You know what I mean? So I think it's kind of a similar thing, because you think you're doing good by taking a life. But anyway, Ovida, what do you think? If a doctor who refuses a request of euthanasia is he doing the wrong thing?
Well, the only thing I can say, it depends on what reason he's refusing. If you ask him why he's refusing, maybe it's financial or he doesn't want to, then you go to another doctor, but it's his choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could have a reason. Maybe he doesn't feel right doing that. There's always a doctor somewhere who can do it. You know what I mean?
So he's doing the wrong thing.
Well, he's not doing the wrong thing. Him himself as a person, he feels he can't do it.
It's a job.
It's a job.
He signed up for it.
Yeah, but he signed up for it. But if he's not capable of doing it, then
but if he did sign up for it, obviously he also has the right to say, okay, this patient, I'm allowed to say no to this.
Yes.
For his own mental state as well. You know what I mean? So,
to be honest, do we know around doctors that are there? What's the law in those countries when it comes to doctors? Do they have the authority to say no? Or
I think you can say no, and you choose yourself to refer somebody to another doctor. So you can say no. It's not like they're bound that you do it. You can actually say, look, I won't go ahead with this. Somebody else can.
And then I think it's not wrong. He's not wrong at all, because him personally can't do it.
Yeah.
Him as a doctor, he's not wrong.
That's true.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Just a few seconds ago, you said it's wrong.
No. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's wrong. I said that it's his choice. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong. It's his choice.
So there's nothing wrong. But then you said it's wrong, but it also depends on the reason they refuse. That's what you said, right?
No, I said it's not wrong, but let's find out what's the reason they refused for.
There's so many reasons.
I think he said that. He said that.
Okay.
That's my point. My point is I don't think it's wrong in any way, because it can be, they say him personally he's not capable, that he can't have that conscience on him that I've done this to someone. Someone can say no, maybe because financial. You know what I mean? Around I think we should take it away.
This is the part that I don't understand. MP and Ovi have mentioned the financial side of it. What financial side are you talking about?
Yeah. What do you keep saying?
Well, I think the basing the question in how
you have
America
to take it two ways. Don't just take it on
American hospitals.
Don't take it on the basis of the doctor himself being wrong. You have to take it on the basis of when he says wrong, when he rejects that part. Is he saving a life? Is he causing another problem? It's a snowball effect on every situation, where if he says no, what's going to happen?
How is taking someone's life saving a life?
Let me tell you, if someone, for example, what you're saying, if someone was here, you're paying bills for someone. You're paying bills for someone who's in the hospital. They have reached that point. You have asked the doctor that I think we need you to.
I think that's where Wantali explained that in the UK. That's where you have taxes.
But are we only talking about UK?
No, but even in I don't know about you guys, but
I think in Ireland as well.
If you go to hospital, do you pay for your treatment?
Okay, guys. But what you did here, when you're starting this conversation, you mentioned a couple of countries.
Yeah.
When you talk about this, you talked about a lot of countries. But why are you only now?
The countries that are only allow euthanasia, which I also mentioned, which was Belgium, Canada, the Netherlands, Spain, Switzerland, and part of the United States. These are the ones that I brought up.
But have you seen medical in the United States doesn't work like in Ireland?
Okay, we get that. But what I'm saying is you guys keep going to this financial aspect. So I want to know what you mean by the financial. I'm not saying I disagree. I'm just saying this reason you're giving, the doctor is wrong because there's finances. What are you talking about?
Financial aspect that I would say is, for that person to be on that machine, this payment has to be done. Okay?
But you should also have this in mind, Vida.
Wait.
A person can also be broke but still want that person to live. You know that, yeah? When you talk about finances, the person might not have enough money to support this person, but still want that person to live.
Why is he just focused on money? Why are you guys not focusing on the ethical side of it? Like the ethical side of it.
Is this what you guys were saying? So you were saying that sometimes people think, okay, this guy is it's costing me to look after this person. Okay. But guys, you have to understand that this is not just giving somebody a painkiller. You know, this is taking a life. It's a big responsibility. You know.
Well, here's the story, right? Here's the story. There are like families out there, right? And let's say there's a mother figure or father figure and stuff like that. They've got money loaded up on their will, and that money transfers over and paying for medical bills. Some parents, with just that kind of grief, like just that kind of pain, they say, just end my life so my children can have something left.
Something. Rather than you waste my money on my medics.
I can give you a counter for that. Actually,
wait, you're putting money on life. You're putting value on life.
Value on life. You're putting a value
because
on
no
life.
one else would ever think about this.
Nobody else will ever think. You guys are not thinking that.
No, but think about it.
Vida, hold on. Let one Tally explain this.
No, but think about it, right? Think about it. What if we switch it around here? What if these kids are saying, the bills are eating the money that she left behind. Why can't she die early so that I can eat that money? You know what I mean? Why don't I push that up? So what this is what you're trying to say here. Like, this could be flipped. This is the other way around.
I've seen a situation, just real quick, guys. Guys, I've seen a situation, just real quick. I've seen a situation where I was leaving a relative, okay? The mother had good money, right? And the mother was hit with very serious cancer. And I remember I was very, very young. And I'm telling you, the money that was spent, the mother, when at the time that she was pretty much a cabbage, sent to South Africa, come back, sent to South Africa. Here, South Africa. I'm talking about bills. The bills were so much, and she still didn't make it. But I'm telling you, maybe 80% of her wealth was gone. Selling houses that she owned, 3 or 4 houses, even in Nyambado.
So what you're saying is it's better. Better for her to die early before everything else is spent.
No, but I'm just saying. But she was saying that me, I would rather now, because when it was eating her body, inside out.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right, because we're running out of time on that same topic. Right, so I'm just going to give Patrick just to briefly give us your point there. Is a doctor who refuses a request for euthanasia doing the wrong thing?
Look, I am just going to. I know that the question has been answered by most of these guys, but I'm gonna just say something before I answer my own question. What I'm hearing here is people putting value on life. Yeah. If it was up to me, look. Yes, you're saying the woman say this, but if it was up to me, somebody said the relative would be saying this is just too much money we're spending. You agree. I still would say no to somebody. I would say no to that patient. I'll be like, look, you still have a fighting chance. I'd rather us lose all that money that person has kept in their will for them to have a fighting chance, for it to be nil, for it to be zero until the last minute of that breath. Because you can't put value on life. Like for me, I don't know. I'm different. Even if there's 5 million in there, let that 5 million go on treatment. Let it go. I'll be like, look, let it go on treatment. Because as one guy said, you have to be careful because some people I read somewhere can abuse this. They can purposely know that there's a will there, and they'll go and manipulate the system to get this to be done so that they can get all this money. So look, I saw you guys concentrating on money, not the ethical side of it. So
I'll be
that type of person. If I had the money,
has to say it because these things are these things are happening out there. Someone has to say it. If we don't say it, someone else is just going to be like, "Oh, you're just being, talking about this ethical side." You have to talk about all the other sides.
Okay, so can I say the ethical side then now? Can I say the other side? Because you guys also have to remember this. As I said, that doctor is not a must for that doctor to go ahead with this process. But you also have to remember, I don't know, one of the guys mentioned it. What if that doctor goes through some emotional issues after doing this? What if for them, they started practicing medicine? Yes, they know that somebody will die one day, but they don't want to be part of that. They don't want to be part of the reason why somebody died. So what if they don't want to do that? It can cause a lot of psychological issues, So if they say no, due to the fact maybe they can be, look, if some Christians, a lot of Christians believe killing somebody is a sin. Even in the Muslim world, they don't believe in suicide, don't believe in such things. What if the person is a Muslim and saying, I don't believe in this? So there's a lot of ways somebody can say no and it can
That's
be justified. So look,
right.
I don't say it's wrong. Somebody saying no. It depends on the situation. As Ovida said, depends on how they are and what reasons they have to say no. So let's just move on to another topic because we've stayed on this one for so long.
Yeah, I think we have at the moment. And before we jump into the next topic over there, I'm just going to ask Wansal if there's any comments there, please.
No comments at all. No, don't worry.
All right,
I'll
guys.
let you know as soon as we get it.
Yeah. I know it's a very, 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 very hard topic to discuss out there, but guys, please give us your questions and answers and your thoughts on what you think about euthanasia as a person. Don't think about anybody else. Think about you and put yourself in that position. How would you feel? Please in the comments, and we'll read it out and talk about it at the end of the topic. We'll go to number 3. Since euthanasia is illegal in many countries, do you think people should be allowed to travel to countries that legalizes it to seek euthanasia? I'm going to start here with Wantali. What do you think, Wantali? Do you think people should actually go to a neighboring country or whatever country just to seek that freedom? Okay, please take my life, or that option for them, you know what I mean?
I mean, in this one, according to the news, this is already happening as it is.
Yeah.
It's already happening because in Switzerland, for example, when they introduced euthanasia in 2003, all right, I think it was about 200 people, well, about 180 people who chose to take their lives through euthanasia. Out of the 180, I think it was about, out of the 180 were local, but then it was 202 that were, in total. So the remaining number was foreigners, so it was people who were not from Switzerland. So this number has risen to about 1,000. So in 2016, it was 1,000 people. And out of the 1,000, it was about 900 who were Swiss, and the 100 were foreign. So it seems like it's already allowed, because my question is, how do you stop it? How do you stop that? You can't.
If you look at those numbers that you just mentioned, for me, I feel a little bit sad. You know what I mean? There's literally people out there, that won't die. They're dying, but still want to live. You know what I mean? Because like we said, we talked about, okay, there's some people who don't want to feel that pain again. And then there's some people who don't have any sickness in the body, but they just mentally feel like they need to take their life that don't belong on this earth. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's some people who think like that, who are healthy, but still want to do it. You know what I mean?
And there's a comment there. Do you want to put the comment up? Sorry, Fred.
Yeah. So we've got comments from Joss. Joss, what's up? Yeah. So she says, Joss in the house. Welcome, Joss.
How are you?
I think she is agreeing with. I think she's agreeing with going to another country to get the
euthanasia
done. She says, if I knew I have a terminal illness, I'm gonna suffer, I would take it so that my family doesn't suffer with me. Okay.
It's a difficult point as well. You know what I mean? Letting go of someone just like that, it's not as easy. It may be easy to some people, you know what I mean? For the fact that, this person is no longer going to be there, no matter the suffering or whatever, just letting that person go. I have a whole lot of examples to bring up, but I'm not going to, cause due to time. So I am just going to,
You should just let them know that the process of euthanasia is more of that. When you go through the application and stuff like that, when the day reaches, it's given that your family or whoever you're confident with should be in the room, should watch that happen, and you record it on camera. They record that so that they can take that evidence and show it to the police that you died of cause of euthanasia. And stuff like that. And that is the case of that when it happens of that sort. So you have to know that one of your family members is going to watch that, and which I believe sometimes
it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah. So
it's a hard thing to do. So with the same question there, I'll throw it to you, MP, since you're already talking. Do you think people should travel to other countries to get this done?
See, it opens up another conversation there, but I won't take it as far. I just think that if you have to travel to another country just to take your own life, then that way it brings us back to the first question that you asked. Like, do you think countries should,
legalize
enact the legislation of euthanasia, then I would say it is not right to travel to another country just to do that, because then the most interesting part is also that when you're doing that, you have to go through applications as well as you have to book a return ticket. If they refuse you of that application, you have to get back to your country and that stuff, which is, you rather have countries, do that in their own state to handle that kind of stuff, because at the end of the day, you think about it, traveling away from your country to another country, your family is just like, you're going to die in another country. That does not bring a good emotion at the end of it as well.
All right, nice point there. Patrick, you're on mute there. You want to say something?
Wait, can I ask something? And I don't know.
Make it brief, because we're running out of time.
Yeah, it's just a small question. My teacher used to say, even a silly question is a question. So this one just popped in my head. Okay, so if you, let's say me, I travel with somebody who's going to do that to a country where it's legal, but in my country it's illegal. If I come back, am I going to be charged because I went to do that?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. How are you coming back? You're going to die.
No. Get what I'm saying? Because everybody says somebody has to go with them, isn't it? Yeah. Somebody has to go with them. So if I have gone with somebody, right? And and signed off everything. I was visible there. I'm on the tape and everything. So it's illegal in my country. So when I go back, am I going to be charged for doing that in the other country?
I don't think.
How are they gonna know?
I don't think.
No, I'm just saying. It just popped in my head that what if such a situation arose? Do you think it'd be like, okay, you did something that's illegal in this country? Well, come back. We have you.
No, but they can. It's the same. Hold on. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay. Before you ask Quantari, what you just said, right? It's the same thing, like people who that do some, like they kill someone in another country and they seek asylum in another country. So whatever they did there, I think that's basically the same thing. What you're trying to say? Whatever happens in another country.
Smoke weed in Amsterdam. Okay, I just answered myself. Because smoke goes to Amsterdam.
I think it's straightforward.
What?
What's straightforward?
I know. I've seen it.
If people cannot do abortion in Ireland, they travel, go to England.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Yeah, but do they get charged?
No. But it's not, bro, because it's illegal in Ireland. So the same answer comes to this. If it's illegal in your country, travel to another country and go do the deed.
No, I know. I didn't really think about, but it just popped in my head. I was like, let me just throw it in there.
I think you need to go and tell that teacher of yours that silly questions are silly questions. Yeah.
I had to spice something up.
Man.
How to spice it up.
Yeah. So
guys, you want to say something there, one time?
I'll read the comments real quick, bro. We've got a few comments, bro. So we have obviously Vanessa saying, "Hey, great show. Hey, yo, great show. Hey, Vanessa, thank you." And we've got Joss again saying, "Look, the accompanied party will be charged as attempted murder, right?" No, Joss, no, because you got to think of it this way. This is a medical procedure, right? So there's going to be patient-doctor confidentiality unless there is wrongful practice, in a sense that this is not legal and the doctor has done it even knowing that it's not legal. Obviously, it will have to be accessible to the office of court and all of that. This is when it gets a little bit complicated.
And if you go through assessment.
Exactly. Exactly. But if you're just accompanying that person in a legal country, you haven't done anything wrong. That's in my respect.
Okay, cool. I get that. Thank you, man. Thank you. At least you've.
All right. Just to move on to the next two questions.
One more comment.
One more comment. Oh, sorry.
So, Vitz, thank you, Vitz Jisambi. Thank you for joining today. He says, "I totally agree with someone doing it, though." What do you mean?
What do you mean there? Can you please elaborate for us there?
I think it's traveling. I think you're talking about traveling somewhere else.
Yeah, traveling somewhere else. Yeah. That is, it's plausible. It's allowed. Like
you would agree with them, but you don't just agree with them. You have to know the reason why. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're not going to dwell so much about on that topic. We have two more questions, so I'm going to choose two people for these two questions. I'll choose one person for one question and basically one for each, just because we had a time. Who wants to take the next one?
What's the question?
No, before I ask it, I want the hands first because I don't want you to prepare. So Patrick is going to take one of the questions. Who wants to take the last one?
I can take the last one.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
In the comments there, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, Patrick, this is to you there. You give us I'll give you 6-8 minutes for your answer. If someone wants to die, is it his or her choice? Should the government have a say in this matter?
Oh yeah, you had to. I had to put my hand up, didn't I? Yeah, same way as in class in geography. They've asked
Take
the
one
question.
for the team.
Yeah, look. For me, I don't think sometimes there's certain things like this. I don't think the government should get involved. But sometimes I'm going to shoot myself in the foot and say sometimes when the government gets involved, they're trying to police something that can go out of hand. But look, since you asked that, is it somebody's right? I think if a country has this as a thing you can do, I think it should be somebody's right to go ahead with it. It must be somebody's human right to decide whatever to do, even though if they're trying to go somewhere else. It all goes back to the example by Ovita with the abortion thing. I was supporting the abortion thing, obviously not just in general. Don't get me wrong. I was supporting abortion if you're doing it for the right reasons. No, I don't want to be misheard here. Not just do abortion for the sake of it. But I'm saying, look, everybody has to have a right to do whatever it is. I know these days people say my body, my rules. Feminists like saying that. At the end of the day, if somebody is saying I want to do this, it's their right to go ahead with it. I don't think the government should intervene. Yes, obviously, as I also said from the beginning, the government should have a bit of policing into it, but not intervene at the point where to say no, completely no. Even if somebody has succeeded in everything to do, say, oh no, completely no, we can't allow you this when you're not allowed to do this at all. So look, I'm contradicting myself because it's a very hard question to ask, but that's what I feel. I feel as a human being, you have the right to whatever you have to do, obviously for the right reasons, not just do it out of nothing. Or maybe do you want me to also answer you the other side, which is the government side? Because I think I have 2 points to make here.
Go on, you can give. I have 2 minutes now.
Look, the reason why this has been difficult for me is every time in the world, the reason why there's rules is because some people, when there's no rules, it's free willy. They'll go crazy. They just go crazy with things. Same thing as at work. If you let go of certain rules, people won't listen. They'll come in the wrong uniform. They won't be polite. They won't follow the guides. So maybe the government actually being there to be able to police things is actually good. On the other hand, so that people cannot just go to these clinics with fake papers, as I read somewhere, even fake papers. People can go with fake papers to these hospitals on behalf of their relative who is in a very bad condition, saying, "Oh, this is what they signed. Can we go ahead with this?" Which also comes to the man of the deal. So maybe when the government steps in and say, "Look, you have to go through these processes. You have to go through a panel," it takes away these people who've got sort of bad intentions. Or even people personal who just want to do this for the sake of saying, I want to just end myself for no apparent reason. So look, it's a conflicting question, but I still remain this. Everybody has the right to do whatever they want at a certain extent. Yeah, if they have the right reasons to do it.
That's true. I'm going to leave most of the arguments to happen in the comments. That's where the action will be. If you guys don't agree with what Patrick said, please don't hesitate to write in the comments there. I'm just going to go straight to the next question. I think one time you said you're going to take that one, is it?
It was MP said it's
MP is going to take this one. So MP, I'm going to ask you this. What would you do if one of your family members was suffering and told you that they didn't want to live any longer? What would you do?
That's a tough one. All right. It's realistically in life, when you say you want to end your life, it always sounds as if it's a selfish kind of thing, because then you live behind everything that you had, then that's people inclusive. So if someone else tells me that they want to die, it ought be dependent on the point that they want to die, and that whereby that suffering, is it treatable or is it not treatable, and how long can that person survive? So if they say So if they say it's cancer, that's like something that would be you're given a lifeline of, like, let's say 3 months or 6 months to say you're gonna die, and they're in pain in the first month already, and they say they want to die. If it's 3 months, you'd pretty much try to encourage them to hold on until, like, 3 months, maybe a miracle could happen.
Yeah.
But if maybe they say it's a year time and the person started suffering the first week, and you can see like loss of hair and all that stuff, chemotherapies and all that stuff, and they're suffering in that point, would I encourage it? No, I would say they should hold on in a way, because then life is so precious, and the more that you would encourage someone else to just proceed with whatever they wish to, like the choice of taking their life, I think it's really that's a very it's a tough avenue, because then it depends on how structured, like how the bond is in your family, and how connected you're to this person, and how motivated you are in this situation. Do you think this person is a burden to you? And when they say, oh, I want to take my life, and you're like, this is my cue to just say, you know what, I don't want to be taking care of this person, and this person should go. Or is this person someone else that's really for you to say that they support your life in every way possible? They might not support you monetary way, they support you mentally, whereby you need that person to proceed on the next level of life, and they say they want to take their life. I think I would stop that person and remind that person why I'm still existing in that place. And if they want to take their life, I would rather tell them that, what, let this be a natural process. But then if it's really something, I see the pain in their eyes, I would have to let that go in a way. But it would be a painful kind of situation, because as much as life would be precious, as much as this thing could be that we want to all live forever in life, I would have to give it up to the person, and I would actually say we can proceed with the application, but it's a tough decision. Yeah,
it's amazing.
Very interesting there.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult topic, depending on where you're coming from, and all you guys have actually brought up some valid explanations there. So you can't say it's wrong or right, but like I said, depends on where you're coming from. If it comes to an emotional side, or it comes to like the monetary side, like you were speaking of, you got Montale and Ovida. So even because we all have to be in everybody's shoes, not the person that is in pain, or not the family. Also look at what the doctor feels about the situation, because taking life is not a very, very easy thing to do. In the first place, it has a burden on the doctor. The doctor can take so many lives, but it doesn't mean he's able to sleep at home. You still have to replay it over and over in your head. So it's a very hard topic anyway. Anyway, guys, if you have any questions, please, like for Jackie what am I saying, Jackie? Josh Q. If they're gonna suffer, then I will support them. Which is, she has a point there, but also, like, take them to the doctors. Make sure the doctors actually give them the proper issue a checkup, and see if this thing is treatable or not, if there's something they can do about it. Obviously, like you said, they have to go through all the steps and stuff. And Vits Chisambi, you can't live in a society where you let people to do anything that they want. The government should intervene unless it's an exception, like the topic you were just talking about. And that's true.
Yeah.
And that's very true.
That is true. I agree.
And I agree 100%. Once you start giving people that power of life and death, people can misuse it. You have all these people like, black market who that sell their body parts. They'll easily just lie that a person is sick, and then
I actually didn't think about that.
You know what I mean?
No, but I actually didn't think about the black market thing. But then, if you're taking your life through the euthanasia, it's always a lethal drug that actually takes you. So your organs are completely shattered. So
but that's the thing.
Poisons and stuff like that. So there won't be any organs that you'd be donating.
So that's the thing. People can pay doctors to kidnap people and do all this act, to keep the mouth quiet. They can be saying those euthanasia, why it wasn't just for some rich person who wants to a body part. So it has so many angles that we can look into. It has so many loopholes. It's not only the monetary side of it. So this is where I'm trying to tell everybody. But since today we have less time, I think I've talked a lot there. Any of you guys want to add something before we close? Do you have any comments there you want to bring up?
Guys, in the comments, guys, is there anything you want to add to this? We appreciate the participation. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Also, for those that are not subscribed, guys, please subscribe, because we bring some great interviews here. We've got some reaction videos we do as well, so you don't want to miss on that content. So, guys, subscribe, please.
All right, thank you guys for joining us, and hopefully you have learned quite a bit of this topic today, and we're going to be bringing you more later. And we're going to have Blackjack soon. We're going to have a session with him, so be prepared for that as well. And like Wantali said, like, subscribe, and share to your friends, and please don't hesitate to comment. Guys, since we're closing, what are we?
5 rounds.
Right?
Peace out, guys.
All right, my list.
Oh, Patrick, bro.